So now that you know how to select something, the question becomes, what do I do with a selection? So in this video, I'm just going to go through a few different options with what to do with selections. So I'm going to start with a simple rectangular marquee, change it to rectangle, and I'm going to select part of the sunset image. So I have this selected. I can move it using the move tool. If I move it, it actually removes it from that area of the layer and moves it around. And you may or may not be able to see that it has emptied out a section. So it's not copying it and it's not leaving white behind it. It's actually removing it. The reason that it looks like there's white behind it is because of that background layer. So if I take that away, you'll see the telltale checkerboard, which indicates that it's actually empty space. So moving it is fine, it just leaves a hole in your image. So I'll undo that. Another thing that you can do with a selection is copy it. So I can use the keyboard Command C or Control C if on a PC, or I can do Edit, Copy. So anytime you have a command, you can see that there's a shortcut next to it. Copy, and then Edit, Paste, actually copied and pasted the same selection on top of itself, and you'll notice that there's a new layer here. So with this new layer, I've not cut it out of the background, but I've actually copied it and pasted it. So I'm going to undo that. Another thing that you can do with a selection is change the color. So I'm selecting this and I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, and here are some simple color mixing tools. Like I can say I'm going to change the hue and saturation, and the hue and saturation bar will literally run through the rainbow, and everything is affected at the same time with a shifting hue, no matter what color it originally was. So I'm going to do it here, and then I'm going to do it to the apple so that you can see what two complementary colors will do. I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to go over to the apple. And because it's not monochromatic, you're going to see a difference in how the colors shift. Image, adjust, hue, saturation, and you can see that the colors are changing differently because they are different colors. What else can I do with a selection tool? Well, once I've selected something, I'll use the apple for this, I can rotate it. So before I moved it, and I also showed you how to copy it onto its own layer by copy and paste. I'm going to add in a new way of copying and pasting onto a new layer that is under New Layer via Copy, or via Cut if you want to cut it out of the background. So this is something that's going to come up a lot when you're designing fabrics with Photoshop. You're going to want to know how to do New Layer via Copy and New Layer via Cut. So this has now created a copy of the apple. I'm not using any of the fancier selection tools, so it's kept the entire white background there. But I can use this to transform something. So because I selected it and put it on its own layer, I was able to specifically just rotate that apple. And then when I'm done rotating it, I can hit Enter on the keyboard. I'm going to back up again, show you that I can do the transform tool while it's on the same layer as well. Transform, rotate. But what's happening now is it is actually cutting it out of the background. So you can see that it's cutting out of the background. So we'll do another video about transforming. The other thing that I can do with a selection tool is once I've selected something, I can use filters on that area. So a filter to do something like a motion blur. And it's only going to happen within the selection. So selections are there for you to actually do something with them.